Last night, a profoundly alarming event unfolded at the Three Gorges Dam, the world's largest hydroelectric project situated on China's mighty Yangtze River. Following days of relentless upstream rainfall that swelled the river to dangerous levels, Chinese authorities took a drastic and unprecedented step. In a desperate measure to manage the immense pressure, they ordered an emergency release, opening not one or two, but all 11 of the dam's massive spillway gates, simultaneously, a move unseen in recent history. The consequences of this decision were immediate and catastrophic for the communities downstream. Within hours, a terrifying torrent of water was unleashed, transforming the landscape into a scene of widespread devastation. Once bustling city streets became raging rivers, their currents sweeping away everything in their path. Homes, identifiable only by the red tiles of their roofs, were almost entirely submerged beneath a vast, muddy deluge. Critical infrastructure buckled under the strain. Sturdy bridges were torn apart, leaving terrifying gaps over the churning water and severing vital connections between riverbanks. For the residents of these downstream regions, the disaster struck with shocking swiftness. The official order for the release came with almost no warning, leaving families to fend for themselves in the dead of night. A frantic scramble for survival ensued. People were forced to make impossible choices, clutching their children and elderly parents, while grabbing only the most essential belongings they could carry. Many sought refuge on the highest ground available, their own rooftops watching, as the floodwaters consumed their homes and livelihoods. Others, in a testament to human ingenuity born of desperation, cobbled together makeshift rafts to ferry their loved ones across the swirling, debris-filled torrents. In the ensuing chaos, communication networks collapsed. With cell towers down and electricity cut, countless individuals lost all contact with their loved ones, unable to call for help or even confirm if their family members were safe. Tragically, many did not survive the onslaught. This devastating outcome forces an urgent and deeply unsettling question. Why would a dam, once celebrated as a pinnacle of modern engineering and a symbol of national pride, necessitate an action that would inflict such suffering on its own people? Could it be that the Three Gorges Dam is approaching its breaking point? are there profound concerns about its structural integrity that officials are not disclosing. For years, international experts and engineers have voiced concerns. They have warned that if the water levels in the vast reservoir were to surpass the dam's design thresholds, and if the powerful upstream inflows continued unchecked, the possibility of a catastrophic dam failure would become terrifyingly real. Such an event would transcend a mere technical failure or a regional disaster. It would represent a national catastrophe of unimaginable proportions, with potential repercussions on a global scale. The scenario of a total collapse is apocalyptic. A failure of the Three Gorges Dam would unleash a monstrous flood wave, potentially dozens of meters high, that would obliterate everything in its path. From Yichang to Wuhan, and all the way to Shanghai, tens of millions of people would be in grave, immediate danger. The nation's critical infrastructure, its expressways, high-speed rail lines, airports and power plants could be wiped out in an instant. This would likely trigger a partial collapse of the national power grid, causing widespread blackouts and paralyzing essential sectors, including healthcare, logistics, manufacturing, and the food and water supply systems. Viewed in this context, the decision to open all 11 spillway gates appears less like a controlled technical adjustment and more like a desperate act of survival. It can be interpreted as an unspoken admission that the colossal structure is under a degree of pressure that threatens its very existence. However, the staggering cost of saving the dam is being paid by the people downstream, people who had no voice in the decision, no time to prepare, and no power to resist the deluge. They are the ones forced to flee, to lose everything they have ever worked for, and, in the most tragic cases, to fight and fail to save their own lives. The human toll is heartbreaking. Children were evacuated from their classrooms mid-lesson. Elderly residents, unable to move quickly enough, were swept away by the currents. Workers, farmers, and small shopkeepers now find themselves clinging to rooftops, to overloaded boats, or to any floating piece of debris that might keep them from drowning. The images and sounds emerging from the disaster zone are harrowing. A mother holding her child on a rooftop, crying for a rescue that may never come. The desperate screams in the night from those trapped by the flood, unreachable by aid. Compounding this tragedy is what many perceive as an inhumane silence from local authorities. There has been no formal apology, no widespread advance warning, and no apparent accountability for the devastation caused by the release. With state media remaining largely silent on the true scale of the crisis, the most reliable and visceral updates are coming from social media. It is ordinary people, filming their ruined towns, their submerged homes, and their cries for help, who are bearing witness to the world. As forecasts predict more rain and the crisis continues to unfold, the resilience of a nation and the values of its government are being put to the ultimate test of transparency, accountability, and the fundamental value placed on human life.